Let's move from the yield curve to the business world, and a bit of a curveball here with Trump's pick for labor secretary. Representative Chavez DeRemer is a rare pro-union Republican in Congress, and she co-sponsored the PRO Act in 2021 that would require gig companies to reclassify some of their drivers as employees. Paul Gallant is keeping an eye on those affected stocks. Paul, they don't look too sensitive on the news today. Why do you think that is?
Kelly, I think we're still probably a few months away from this actually becoming a situation where the market's like, yeah, something bad could actually happen out of this pick from Trump. I mean, unlike your discussion of Treasury Secretary Besson, I think this is the pick for the Labor Department secretary is not the pick the market expected or wanted for the gig companies or other parts of corporate America. She is one of the rare pro-union Republicans in Congress, and I think her announcement of Trump's pick to head the Labor Department really caught a lot of people off guard. And we'll see in a couple of months if she gets through the confirmation process. But if she does, this is going to be, unfortunately, an issue for the gig companies to keep an eye on.
So talk a little bit about the power the labor secretary will have. And other than the gig companies, where else she might be able to deploy her power and ideology, if it is supportive more of unions than we might have seen in a previous Trump or Republican administration?
Yeah, I think the big issue for the gig companies is whether the Labor Department under Trump decides it's a problem that all of the gig companies have classified their drivers as independent contractors. That's been their business model since day one. It's the reason they've exploded in popularity and the market likes them. And the concern, I think, would be with her leading the Labor Department, does she want the Labor Department to do a rethink and potentially say, no, Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, et cetera, need to start treating some of their drivers like employees? If they have to do that at the request of the Labor Department, like through a lawsuit, that would be a business model changer for these companies. So even though she is very pro-union, and I think not what the market expected, not what the gig companies wanted, for what it's worth, at the end of the day, I don't think the White House is going to defer on this policy to what she thinks. This is such an important issue. I think the White House itself is going to make the call. And remember, Trump himself ran on deregulation. That's exactly how the market has reacted the past few weeks to his election, is deregulation. So having the Labor Department go after these gig companies on this employee IC thing, that's not really what Trump ran on. And I don't, at the end of the day, think that's what his Labor Department is going to pursue.
All right. So I'm painting a whole conspiratorial idea in my head. It's Musk whispers to him, hey, you got to be pro-union because that's how we're going to broaden the party. And then he gets him to put her in as labor secretary. And then she goes after Uber. And then Uber has problems. And then that gives Tesla a competitive advantage. Boom. What do you think about that idea?
Yeah, my head starts to hurt when I think about those things, Kelly. It's a great point. I mean, when you run everything through the Trump, J.D. Vance, Musk, Republican Congress, you can come out with almost any answer you want. I mean, Musk himself, I believe, has said he is generally not a fan of unions. So to me, that's the straighter line between these points, between Musk and the president, for example. So I'd be surprised, but I don't think the people around the president are going to push him to have his Labor Department go after these gig companies on a major lawsuit that, as I said, would really change their business models.
Right. Well, because even if you...
One last point, Kelly.
Sure.
Actually, when Trump was president the first time, he actually changed the rules at the Labor Department specifically to make it harder to sue these companies for misclassifying their drivers. So as long as he sticks with his existing policy from last time, the company should be okay.